Hello, I'm Captain Billy Howell, fishing for Team Strike Pro America. This morning I'd like to show you the Strike Pro Boogie Walker. The bait is 3/4 of an ounce, has a unique walk-the-dog style motion, walks side to side, with a cone-cut mouth that helps the bait spit water as it goes across the top. An effortless bait to work, a proven money winner here in the state of Texas. One of the unique things about this bait is I use it in subtle presentations. The bait has an unbelievable quiet presentation. Side to side motion, exactly like a wounded mullet on the surface it's been abstracted from its school.
And you can look back at me and talk a little bit too while you do that.
In 2008, this bait was responsible for the heaviest stringer weight that's ever been weighed in a Texas Trout Series tournament, a total of 22 pounds for 3 fish. Very effortless bait to work. Put a little bit, about 4 to 6 inches of slack in your line, keep that rod tip down into the wind, and the bait does the work for you by itself. One of the things about this bait that makes it so unique, like I said, is a subtle presentation. You can get in the skinny water without scaring the fish. The bait does not have a loud, overpowering knock to it. The cylindrical shape allows the fish to come up from behind the bait and eat the bait just like a natural presentation. It's a very easy bait to walk. Anybody can work this bait. There's not, as you can see with my rod, I'm not having to do much to make that bait move from side to side. Even around tailing redfish, this bait has enough of a subtle presentation that it's not going to spook those fish. It's quiet enough that it moves effortlessly through the water and does not make a lot of commotion to push those fish off of what they're looking at. A lot of times you'll find in shallow water, a lot of guys will throw these topwater baits that make an unbelievable amount of noise. With this bait, the subtle presentation is imperative, especially when it comes to redfish. The next bait I'd like to introduce to you guys is the Strike Pro Tie Stick. This bait weighs a 1/2 ounce, has a very unique walk-the-dog style, kind of an erratic style. The cone-cut shape on the mouth allows this bait to spit water as it erratically moves across the top of the water. See him come up there and look at it? The rattles in this bait is a super high-pitched rattle. Therefore, if you're in a little bit muddier water, that these fish can track to that bait through the sound. Very effortless bait to work. Put a little bit, about 4 to 6 inches of slack in your line, keep that rod tip down into the wind, and the bait does the work for you by itself. See how that bait bounces? Looks that fantastic going through the water, just like a wounded mullet. This bait was responsible for us winning close to $12,000 in 2010 in the Delacroix Marsh on 2 different tournaments. When we got in the brackish water in the coast of Louisiana, One of the unique things about this bait is it works for, we caught bass, we caught redfish, we caught trout, we caught everything that the Delacroix Marsh had to offer on this bait, and was a fantastic catch for us when Strike Pro let us fish with this bait.
All right, cool.
This is a Strike Pro Thunder Pop. This bait weighs 3/4 of an ounce, has a unique gill slit pattern inside of the face. When this bait goes through the water, makes an unbelievable swishing sound going through the water. Not only does it throw water into the air, but the dynamics of this bait with the swishing sound that goes through it makes it a very lifelike sound when bait fish are running on top of the water. This bait has been a proven winner in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, and also in South Carolina. Look how far that bait spits that water. No other popper makes that kind of a noise. Absolutely drives the redfish nuts. Keep that rod tip down at about 3 o'clock. This bait, you can work it with the rod tip up in the conditions that we're dealing with today. This bait with the rod tip down allows that bait to dig into the water. See that redfish? It allows that bait to dig through the water, which gives that bait the unique sound of the swishing sound, not just a popping sound, but it gives that darting motion, that swoosh, swoosh, through the gill plates of that bait. It displaces an unbelievable amount of water. And you see how far you can hear that bait making that noise from how far away. That bait's 35 yards from us. It's what I call the fish whistle, the fish bell. Come and get it. Look how far it's spitting that water. Show me another popper that spits like that. You can't, because there isn't one. Oh, speckled trout love it. Oh, blue-eyed Billy. The next lure I'd like to show you is the Strike Pro Hunchback. This bait comes in two sizes, 3/4 of an ounce and a 1/2 ounce. This bait has a unique Strike Pro patented design with the curvature of the bait. This particular style of bait can be worked by a professional, amateur, novice. It doesn't matter who you are. As long as you can cast the bait out there and get it out there, all you have to do is crank the reel to make the bait do what I'm getting ready to show you. Super effortless bait to work. Side to side motion. All you have to do is throw it out there and reel it back in. The blow-ups on this bait are absolutely phenomenal. When they hit this bait, they absolutely pile drive it. Redfish, bass, speckled trout. Heck, we've even caught a few mackerel and some ribbon fish on this bait, has been noted. This bait has been responsible for over $50,000 wins on the IFA Redfish Series, the Texas Redfish Series, and the Extreme Redfish Series since 2009. As the bait comes back to you, if you're fishing out of the boat, as the bait comes back to you, I tend to lower the rod tip just a little bit to keep that bait digging in the water. The unique side-to-side action lets an amateur and a novice walk the dog like a pro does. A various sundry of speeds and techniques can be used with this bait. I tend to take that bait sometimes and I'll hit that bait and shoot it through the water, let it come back up to the surface, and pick it right back up on the walk the dog style motion. See the wake that it pushes behind that bait. Looks like a wounded bait fish that's been lost from a school. Strike Pro has absolutely knocked this one out of the park. By far my favorite bait to throw from Strike Pro. The very first time I put this bait in my hand was good for a second place finish in Corpus Christi. Throwing the bait sight unseen, was given the bait and had a unique opportunity to win the first tournament. First time I ever throwed it. Fell just a few ounces short, but nonetheless received an awesome paycheck. You can burn this bait through the water, you can reel it as fast as you want, and that bait will not come out of the water. Unlike anything else on the market, the way that Strike Pro has this design on this bait is just unbelievable. You can't find another bait on the market that's that easy to work, that this bait does exactly what it says it does, and it will bring them to the table. This is a Strike Pro Flex Phantom. This bait comes in 3 sizes. This particular one I'm showing you is 3.5 inches long. This is Strike Pro's patented bike chain system. The bait comes in a variety of sizes, 3 different sizes, 3.5 inches, 5 1/8, and 6 3/4 inches. Strike Pro has a micro skin paint job on this bait, which allows the bait extreme durability for years and years of use. Strike Pro's patented bike chain system allows this bait to maneuver similar to a fish that's swimming with its school. Not another bait on the market like Strike Pro has with this patented bike chain system that allows that bait to swim freely and effortlessly through the water. Unbelievable articulating motion. This is a Strike Pro Flex X. This particular bait comes in 2 sizes, 4 1/4 and 4 3/4 inches long. This bait comes with VMC/owner hooks, which Strike Pro is known for to put the best hooks on the bait on the market. This bait has the micro skin technology, which allows durability and years of use out of your bait. The bill on this bait is a resistance bill. The bill sits flat in the water, which allows you to work this bait anywhere from 2 foot of water or 30 foot of water. The swimming action of this bait is unsuperlative of any other bait in the market. The bait really looks natural coming through the water with this bill front on it. With the bill being laid down like this, it allows this bike chain system to work unbelievably. One of my favorite retrieves in working this Strike Pro Flex X is throwing the bait out there, engaging the reel as soon as the bait hits the water. Keep that rod tip about 1 o'clock, reeling it vigorously through the water, as the bait will truly wake about 1.5 to 2 inches underneath the surface. This bait gives the design of a bait fish that's been lost from its school, yet is swimming very erratically. This is more of a reaction style of bait. I like to fish this bait anywhere between 1.5 and 5 foot of water when I'm fishing for redfish and speckled trout. This is an unbelievable action in this bait. The bait gets an unbelievable strike and will produce more fish in your future. One more time. This is a Strike Pro El Magnifico. This is a true jointed suspending twitch bait. This bait is an outstanding example of a bait that works all around in saltwater, whether you're fishing for speckled trout, redfish, stripers, snook. The bait has been a proven winner with all three of them. This bait is supported with VMC black nickel hooks. The bait goes no deeper than 3 foot. As you twitch the bait through the water and pull back on the rod and stop the bait sits exactly where you stop that bait. It's a true suspending bait with a broken back style to it. Unbelievable bait, especially around grass and rocks. This particular bait has such a unique articulating action going through the water that looks like a bait fish that's already been attacked by its predator. See how long it stays down in the strike zone. The slow ascent back to the surface allows that bait to stay in the water and stay in the strike zone in front of that fish as long as possible. Super slow ascent.
Pop it up to the top, hold it there for a little bit. Try to push it.
Strike Pro Profi Spoon, weedless. Unbelievable arsenal for your shallow water technique. Thank you for viewing our Strike Pro presentation. I hope we have educated you more on the Strike Pro line of lures and what they can do for you on your next fishing adventure. Remember, Strike Pro Lures, where we are always casting into the future.